A grisly scene. Police say they caught this woman cooking human body parts after she'd been casting spells. I have the details on the shocking case out of Kentucky and where the case stands. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. This case sounds like something out of a horror movie. I actually had to look at the headline 2 or 3 times to make sure that I was reading it correctly. And what I'm going to tell you is really, really gruesome and disturbing. So just prepare yourself for that. I'm going to detail what police found for you here in just a bit. Right now, Torelina May Fields is in the Bourbon County Detention Center facing a number of charges after Kentucky State Police say they found the body of Torelina's mother outside of the home that they shared. Once inside, police say they found a pot that was still warm to the touch with body parts inside. It's truly shocking. And this would be shocking if it happened anywhere. But this happened, this grisly discovery was in the small city of Mount Olivet, Kentucky, halfway between Cincinnati and Lexington, Kentucky. About 350 people live there. So this is a very small town. Here's Trooper David Jones with how the investigation started on Wednesday.
Received a call from a person that had went to the residence on Briley Ridge Road and discovered a body in the backyard. The person worked on the property, was as a contractor to the homeowner. He called us. We responded to the property. We received a call around 12:25 that day, and 2 units responded, did locate a body in the backyard. They attempted to make contact with anyone in the residence. They had no contact. They set up a perimeter at that time, and had other units come in to secure the residence, around the residence. And then a search warrant for the property was obtained. Our special response team was activated and responded to the scene to execute the search warrant due to the extreme circumstances with the body in the backyard that was obviously deceased. They, after getting the search warrant, attempted several times to make contact via PA to anyone inside the residence. They did not have any luck with that. They did see somebody in the residence. Eventually, after quite a while attempting to get the person to come out on their own, made entry, did find a female in the residence and took her into custody without incident and removed her.
Trooper Jones said Torelina Fields wasn't being combative. She just refused to come out of the house. Photos from Fox 19 and WKRC in Cincinnati show the scene where members of the special response team met at the property, and you can also see the house in these photos. A citation is offering more details about the efforts to get Torelina to come out of the house. It reads, upon making entry into the residence, the female subject, Torelina May Fields, was the only individual located inside. Torelina refused to exit the residence when multiple commands were given. CS gas was deployed by SRT after multiple volleys of CS gas and conversing with Torelina using a robot. Torelina was removed from the residence without further incident. Torelina appeared to have blood on her face, hands, and clothing. The complaint offers other disturbing details about the dismembered body of Trudy Fields, that's Torelina's mother, that was found in the backyard. Troopers observed a dismembered body lying in the grass behind the residence. In close proximity of the body is a blood-stained mattress. Troopers observed blood on the back porch in the threshold of the back door. Also on the back porch, troopers observed a blood-stained wooden stick and another blood-stained mattress. Drag marks in the grass leading from the residence to the body were observed. Troopers found that Trudy Fields' body had been dismembered. The arms, legs, and head had been removed. The torso and spine were severed in half, and the organs removed. The mattress lying next to the dismembered body was folded over in half. Upon unfolding the mattress, multiple body parts and organs were found inside that appeared to have been cooked inside the oven. The pot was still warm to the touch. Now, there was a repairman that you heard Trooper Jones mention. He's actually the person who discovered this along with his partner, and he told troopers that he had last seen Trudy Fields the night before around 6:30 p.m. That would have been Tuesday. He said that she went with him and his partner to the property gate and appeared to lock it behind them as they left. That same day, the repairman said Torelina was casting spells on them and being confrontational. The citation indicated police believed drugs were involved. Right now, Torelina is not facing a murder charge. That might come later, depending on autopsy results. She is facing charges of obstructing governmental operations, tampering with physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. I want to tell you about a great free app. It's called Upside, and it's sponsoring today's Law and Crime YouTube takeover. Upside is a free app that gives you cash back on groceries and gas. And this is real cash back that you can transfer straight into your bank account. And it's really easy to use. Download Upside, claim an offer for whatever you're buying, pay as usual using a debit or credit card, and follow the steps on the app to get paid. You can use Upside at places like Shell, Exxon, Mobil, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell, Chipotle, and that's just to name a few. There are many more. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan the QR code on your screen and use our promo code LC Takeover to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's promo code LC Takeover for extra cash back. I want to bring in Kurt Hartman. He's a former judge in Cincinnati, Ohio, north of where this event took place. It's horrific, Kurt. Your thoughts, just reading the citation about what police are saying happened here.
Yeah, pretty shocking in terms of just the facts. You got a mother-daughter where the daughter apparently, it appears from all facts, killed her mother and is dismembering her, cooking her in the kitchen. Right now, obviously, the charges don't include a murder charge. It's simply obstructing government operations, tampering with evidence, and abusing a corpse, which is enough to hold her and get her into custody. Obviously, once the coroner starts looking at things, I'm sure the charges are going to escalate from there.
Yeah. And, the autopsy performed Friday. So, we should get some more information about that. It is a shocking set of facts here, and the allegations are horrifying. If you're the judge presiding over this case and she's going to be appearing in court on Monday, I mean, what do you do here when she makes an initial appearance? I mean, yikes! What do you do with this? Because the facts are what they are at this point in time. We don't know more. I mean, granted, she could have passed away naturally and then something happened, but it doesn't appear that that's probably the case because the mom was alive prior to this happening, according to the repair people. So. You obviously set bail, but do you take any further steps given the serious nature of the allegations here and just how gruesome it is?
Yeah, the initial arrangement, it's really just setting the bail, looking at the facts, and the fact that she's not charged with murder or anything. The underlying facts will still come into play in terms of setting the bail. Ultimately, there's obviously going to be a mental evaluation going on to see, is she competent to stand trial? And the question of competency whenever the crime or crimes were committed will eventually be undertaken as part of the process. I would anticipate, her having a significant bail set just because no clear indication that she doesn't pose a threat to the community as well. So that would be the initial stage. And then, like I said, as the attorneys get involved, the prosecutor, defense counsel, be it appointed or hired, they'll figure out in terms of the mental evaluation that obviously something like this will cry out for.
You obviously have had defendants come into your courtroom, when you were sitting on the bench. You're now in private practice, obviously, and we're in private practice before then, handling different types of cases. But I mean, this is just such a disgusting set of facts. I mean, they're saying they believe drugs were involved in this, and that's not a shock given what the allegation is here. So what kind of drugs do you think might be involved? I know I'm asking you to speculate a little bit. I in my mind, I'm thinking kind of like methamphetamine or something like that. That's what I'm thinking could have been a part of something like this.
Yeah, it could be, that type of drugs. And it also may be a question of how long she's been on drugs. Because, the longer one uses, one tends to escalate in terms of the type of drugs they use. And, just repeated use does affect, the mental capacities as one goes forward. Now, interestingly, voluntary intoxication, be it from alcohol or drugs does not negate your criminal liability. If you're so drunk or so high, you don't know what you're doing. That's not an excuse under the law, that you can still be held criminally liable in those situations.
The allegation here, according to the repairman, is that he goes to the house and she was casting spells on them and being very confrontational. And I'm assuming this repairman, who'd been doing some work, he and another repairman, for quite some time. I mean, they're familiar with the family. They're familiar with the mom because they've been working on the house for a while. They're familiar with the daughter. They live there together. They show up and she's acting crazy. I mean, casting spells, that's not normal. Maybe it is for some people, but I mean, come on. I mean, this is not normal. So what does that lead you to believe? I mean, maybe there's drugs here, as the police suspect in the citation, but maybe some mental illness too. Obviously, you said there will probably be a mental health evaluation.
Correct. This was a 32-year-old female. It's not even a teenager type stuff who might be, experiencing or experimenting with it or whatnot. And it is a small community, so it seems like everybody kind of knew everybody in this community. I've seen comments from neighbors and people around the community just shocked and said, the victim here was a nice lady, and then everyone enjoyed her. And it's kind of, you get into where, the question is going to be also the family dynamics. It seems that the daughter, who was arrested, was not necessarily part of this community normally. So she might have come back. There might have been issues elsewhere that precipitated her returning home to her mother. But like you said, the day before, the repairman who shows up is talking about she's acting confrontational, casting spells. You're right. That's not normal behavior. And it's like, I'd be questioning, did the mother try to get her mental health? Or was it something that, she's always been doing this and mother just thought it was par for the course? Those facts obviously are going to get developed, in the next ensuing months as the investigation and then ultimately either a trial or a plea is worked out.
I mean, it's so gruesome too. I mean, we have body parts, organs, I guess, in a pot in the oven that was warm. A body that had been dragged out back. I mean, things that are tucked into a mattress. I just can't even imagine what gets somebody to that point. Yeah, maybe drugs, maybe mental illness, but it's so horrific. And, this is on my old stomping grounds, sort of. When I say that, obviously I covered local news in Cincinnati for 10 years. And this is down the interstate from there. It would be shocking no matter where it happened, but this is like, I had to my head snapped back when I saw the headline. I couldn't believe it.
I've been practicing law 29 years. You've been a reporter for several years. I won't say how many, but
thanks.
I cannot think of a comparable case. Anything just so bizarre, and then, interesting, you talk about, the dismemberment of the body. It was just a torso. The reports are the head was removed, arms and legs. So the repairman, when he just discovers the torso of the body, and that's it. And they found body parts and whatnot, like in a folded up mattress nearby. And like you said, the cooking stuff in the oven. It's just bizarre, I guess, is as you characterized it. But it's out there, and then stuff like that does happen. And mental health does play into it, drugs play into it, and we're going to see where this case ultimately ends up in terms of more facts are going to come out, obviously, probably in the next several months. And like I said, with a mental evaluation to figure out what is the defendant's now mental state.
Well, we may learn more during her initial appearance on Monday. She's scheduled for that. She's in the Bourbon County Detention Center. That's a different county from where this happened in Robertson County. But that's where she's being held. And her mugshot to me is just kind of interesting because she's, her eyes are closed. She's wearing kind of that turtle suit, one of those vests they put you in so you don't harm yourself.
That's right.
She obviously is kind of out of it in that picture. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't see them letting her out on bail. And I think we will see additional charges here pending the results of the autopsy. Kurt Hartman, thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on it.
Always great to be with you. Thank you.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.